Earlier this week, I was trying to make some more mods. I don't know if they're actually in this game or not. This is basically just a recap of what I've been doing this week. So anyway, on a modular engine, right, you have this pump, and often, almost all the time, it's going to be in a stupid place. And so now that port is coming directly out into where a cylinder would be, and you'd have to delete that and reroute the pipes. And I thought that's just a pain. So I started making a new pump, which has the port on one side and then the other side, the opposite side. So nothing on the back there. You can have your cylinder and then you just route the pipes around. I have not been able to figure out exactly how to get the fluid in to work. So my fluid in doesn't actually get detected as being connected to anything. It's a good idea, even if the port was on the side, I think that would still be useful. The reason that I like this kind of belt-driven pump is that even if your engine is idling, so the clutch isn't engaged, but you're still idling at maybe 2 or 3 RPS, this pump is still going, so you're still running coolant through the system. What I really like to be doing is this. So an impeller doesn't stop any flow, it just speeds up the flow. So the belt-driven pump will keep some flow moving when you're at idle, and then as you accelerate, as your RPS increases, the impeller increases and it pushes more fluid through and you get better cooling. So that would be my ideal cooling setup. Use this impeller as the 90-degree angle, and then just have a belt pump that keeps the system flowing when it's idling. So that's what I was trying to accomplish with that. I was thinking maybe it would be good if the hose anchor was on an angle, and this was to accommodate a tank for a truck that I've been building. So I got it all modeled in and basically correctly set up. The problem is I'm having issues with my fluid ports again. It's just disappeared and it doesn't want to work as a surface to connect to either. It just doesn't exist. So I don't know what's going on, but all the hose anchor and stuff is now connected in the right place, so you can determine the offset of where the hose will begin from. So I got that to the right place. So it's a really cool block. Should be a really cool part once it gets done. But back to my career. Earlier today, I detailed some of the fishing boat. I went out and repaired a buoy. I think it was $2,000 for that. And then I just drove around, did some fishing. I drove all the way down to the fishing village, the South Fishing Village, and made quite a bit of money. But then as I was going up the river to go past Holt Town, my engine cut out and it would only run at 6 RPS. I think it was because there was no relief valve on the fuel tank, so it wasn't able to get any fuel into the engine, or a very minimal amount of fuel. So I've ended up ditching that boat in the river. So there is a boat. This is where I went. I went west, came down the side here, came back up to the fishing village, sold all my fish and then started coming up the river, but the engine started conking out about here. So there's a boat just sitting there. So I died and respawned because that's how you do it. But I did make a bit of money. I think I've got $53,000 plus I've got that boat sitting out there, and that boat is about $40,000 worth. And it should be pretty easy to recover because it's got rope anchors all over it in the right places. So we're on V9 now. I started to detail some kind of panels in the floor and the deck. Painted these rails orange, painted the steers black and behind them. I added more cylinders to the engine. We were only getting, I think it was 8 knots with 2 cylinders. Just for symmetry's sake, I added 4 more cylinders, 2 on each side. They created a bit too much weight sort of in the back section, so I was considering removing these 2 rear ones. I don't actually know how much these weigh. 27, see that's not really too much. I guess all 4 of them being here brings that closer to 100. Oh yeah, I moved the radiator, and I've just noticed I haven't painted down here. I got a comment that said if I had split the flow between both of them, so that's this pipe here, it now comes down, and this is one of those junctions that goes into the top radiator, and then the bottom one comes into the bottom radiator, and then they both come out this side, connect back up, and then go back into the manifold there. And so the cooling is split between the two radiators now, which did actually improve it quite a lot. From what I could tell, both these radiators are sitting at 30, around 30 degrees, both of them, rather than having one at 30 and one at like 50 or 60. Added some lights in the roof here, and I've done the same light switch that I have in the bridge. I also added a light switch in here, and I don't know what to call this, a cabin. Same thing, light in the roof. Moved the welder to the middle. I put in some lockers that I just got out of the C17, which I think would actually be pretty cool to finish now that it's, I don't know, the C17 has an A-frame on it, so it's kind of set up like a fishing or crab boat, and now that fishing and crabs and that kind of industry is part of the game, it should be, I don't know if that's really what I want to do with it. Anyway, I got them out of the C17 and I thought they were really good. I got the seats out of the C17 as well. This table is made of Thales plates, which are really good. The hitbox is on the bottom, and then I've got some XML stretch pipes as the legs. That gives you a nice little bench. I've still got space up here, which I think I want to put equipment in. And I ended up going for bunks, and I just kind of left the space in behind the beds open. I was thinking of putting equipment in there, but I'm already at 42,000, and I want to keep this a $40,000 boat. There might be some stuff I can remove that just costs ridiculous amounts. I'm just not sure what those things would be. But I think this interior is looking pretty good. It just maybe needs some cleaning up in some of these empty spots, some equipment added. Down below here, I cut out my fuel tank. So my heel along the bottom there, that's the fuel tank. And this front space has nothing in it. And I figured because the engine is now adding so much weight to the middle, I can add more weight by expanding that space, this empty space here. Give me more fuel, which will add more weight, which will maybe put the front of the boat down. And then this port here goes up into here, through the wall, through the filter, and that is the relief valve for the fuel tank, which I tested it. I drove pretty far north, emptied the tank out. It's just under 2,000 liters, and it didn't stall the whole time, so I think it's fixed. Another thing I did is I changed the fin that was on the back here just for blocks, because I noticed when it was getting really windy, it was jumping out of the water and it was getting held in a forged position, like into the wind, sort of no matter what I did. So yeah, I got rid of that fin because I think that was having the most effect on this. So right now I've only got $10,000 left. I kind of want to do some fishing, but let's hold off on that for now. See that thing over there? That is a highway. And I also have a mod that improves the roads. So we've got like dirt roads and actual roads. There's a road that goes up that mountain, I think. A lot of the roads are just smoother. And so I wanted to start doing land-based logistics. And this truck here, which is ridiculously cheap, it's got no engine in it yet. It's only got an electric motor. This is kind of like, I think it's a Scania T-Series or T-Cab or something. Anyway, the wheels I've got on here, I did want to use T37s, but because of the dual axle wheels, they looked really weird. You could see the wheel behind it spinning as the front wheel didn't spin so much. So I changed over to some of Curve's wheels. These are like proper truck wheels, and these are just steelies. And there is a difference, I believe. The front wheel has that sort of extended hub thing, and then the dualies have it more recessed because they are like, that's just how they are in real life. The only thing I don't really like about the dualies is they don't come out as far as this wheel. It is kind of annoying. I don't know if there's a good way to fix that. It's probably a mesh issue. Right now this is connected on an electric motor, and I think it's all connected, so I should be able to show you. $10,000 is really good. I want to change this grille. Yeah, I think it was a Kenworth that I was looking at for the grille, and I don't know, it just doesn't look very nice. But I've got these little spotlights here. I think these are from Apollo's light pack. I've got these small robotic hinges, which I think might be from Thales. If you grab the handle, door opens. And then I put buttons in for the internal door handles so you can actually push them when you're in a seat. Right now it's just on an electric motor, so it's going to be very, very zippy. But it is handling quite well because it's got so much torque. It does do wheelies. I want to use this as the like base truck and make a trailer that can be used for moving containers around. But yeah, what do you think about this model? I think it's pretty cool. When I try and reverse, it's engaging the brakes. I've slowly started to implement my SIBTAT controls into it, so It's got brakes and speed detected steering assists or whatever. Speed reduced steering. I'm out of battery now. I want to build that truck, and that's going to take a little bit of time to get it going. I can use another truck, and I guess the trailer is more important. I think is it 25? Maybe it was 24. No, it's 25, I think. Yeah, this one here with the sliding B thing. Forgotten what this is called. This is the ideal base for the trailer that I want to build. All this stuff on top though, has gotta go. Now, what's going to happen is I still need my wheels to come in and out, but I want to have a crane. Okay, that's the point of the what I want to do with this trailer is this is going to be a container transport with a B-train slide out axle at the back, and it's going to be a side loader. So it's going to be kind of a funny shape, I think, or a funny length, because it's got to have this connector here and then some space for the pivot, and then on this pivot it's going to have track, and then on that track it needs probably something heavy, so rockets would be good. Rockets, actually barrels would be better, and then a magwell. I think I might actually have a trailer already that can do this one. Yeah, maybe I'll just use this. This one's a little bit different because the whole assembly thing can slide, and the idea with that was that this is set up for a 40-foot container, and then it would be able to slide into any MCS size. So you could put, you know, like a 7U or a 9U, 10U, any weird size, you just slide the connectors to meet. But this has the arms for the... This is so weird. I wonder if this works. None of the logic's connected. But yeah, you need an arm like this because it's got to be able to connect on both ends of the container's rope anchors and then fold down or fold back the other way. This has got hard points, which means it must lock. Maybe it doesn't. I think a lot of this stuff is just decoration. This is what I want though. And then pop it on this. So there's two systems for this. You need to have this pivoting piece. So we've got the actual grabbing the container bit. That'll clear the connector, so it should be okay. And then I don't know why I've got these different lengths and what these hard points are doing. These are rockets. What? Cool, thanks. Cool, thanks, man. So it would spawn like this, and then it would go... Oh, that's a bit quick. Also, this pivot is putting it in the sort of below the chassis of the trailer. It might make more sense for it to be sitting above. So it would go down, down. Yeah, and then the container will sit right there. I could put that pivot, the next one, up, I think. This is the kind of thing you need to be really slow because of the weight of a container. So yeah, that's it retracting and folding away. So that's quite nice. That's probably why I did the winches like that. So that can just close itself away, and then you go whoop, whoop, whoop. And because it starts open, it can extend quite a bit further. And so that can, you know, help you grab something. And then also, you can put it all the way up if you have to. And then that, you know, get yourself really centered over where the container is going to connect. And then once you're all disconnected, boop, boop. So yeah, I think these hard points would have been good if they connect into something to stop this whole thing wriggling about. And then the next step of this is going to be on this one here. We'll need another pivot. So I'm thinking when this is rotated out, is it going to hit this pivot? Will that cause problems? So on spawn, that would all close up, and you'd have one of these at each end of this thing. So what would happen, you'd pull up beside a container, this would go up, probably 40%, maybe 50. Yeah, halfway would be good. And then that will go down, and it will go all the way down until it connects and the maggle is attached to the ground. So that gives us support for lifting the container. And this comes up. We attach, so you have to manually connect your ropes. I probably wouldn't want to put connectors on little anchor things. It just gives you too much room for it to, if you had a connector, it would make it more automatic, but it's going to hang down here somewhere, so you're going to run out of space when you're trying to put the container back. So anyway, then you lift it all up, connect to the connectors on the trailer, disconnect those, which I don't think there's an automated way to disconnect those. And this will retract now that the container's on the trailer. It's all nicely balanced. The mag all releases, and this, okay, that one, the pivot can't go past 0.
The next day,
look at that. Zzz, that's really cool. Yes. So what I would do is make it be always in release state unless these are at -1. So they have to be all the way down before it's even going to grab. Then you release it. Oh, hold on. You want to do this bit first. That's very cool. So that'll stabilize it. Then you would release it, which will automatically happen when these start going up. Position it as best you can. Grab the container. Start bringing it back. Put it in place. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so this would all come down first. And then it would go off. See, there's that like second delay before a hardpoint tries to connect again. It's really good to know that, because you can just pulse it and it will release for a second and then it'll grab itself again. So you can sort of use a bit of trickery with OR gates and a pulse. So you can say if it's like maybe not in this specific situation, but you can just say when if it's not -1, then release it, and it will when it goes to not release state, aka it's going to try and grab it, there's like a 1 second pulse, so it's not going to be just as it goes to -1, it's not going to suddenly grab it. It gives you a bit of delay to make sure everything's settled. All this comes up, and you'd need a maggle thing. Basically, I think you would probably have the maggle connected to the track system. You don't want to accidentally have the maggle grab something, you know, you don't want to do this and then grab a container. But if it went this, and then as this thing got to 50%, then it would go 1 and turn the maggle on. It'd be really good if we had some instrument panel levers. I'm not even sure if this is correct. If you have it on speed, it's got to like spin itself back the other way. Oh, yuck. Look, one of them is moving differently. That back one's moving differently. That's not good. What's going on there? Also, I'm a big dummy. Because all of this system moves together, right now, I've got it all on, everything's on its own separate subgrid, but because it all moves as one thing, first I'll just check these ratios, 1 to 8, 1 to 8, 1 to 16, 1 to 16. This yellow piece here moves at exactly the same rate as this piece here, so they can be connected. Same with these ones. This pink and this green can be connected. This crane and this crane. This blue crane and green crane. And this crane and this crane. Blue crane and blue crane. So I got rid of a lot of subgrids there, and it should also make it a lot stronger. And it'll all be synchronized perfectly because it's all moving as one thing. So when the threshold reaches 0.4 for the tracks, for the pivot to move. Because it's a switch box, it's never going through 0.4, it should be 0.5, which means it'll just turn on straight away. Not what I wanted, but it's how it's working. I'm too in the mindset of using a counter, so like I pass through 0.4 to get to 0.5, so that turns those on. I just don't want them to grab something like a container if I'm right next to it. That'll just be annoying. But yeah, that's fine. So when the switch box turns off and they're no longer meeting that 0.5 threshold, they just disconnect. The only downside with this is that I'm only connected on this side. So if I don't think I've got the articulation to do anything silly at the moment. The fishing boat basically works, so it's just a case of using it to get more money. I'll go recover that other fishing boat as well. This, I just need to put wheels and SibTat on it, and for now I'll just set it up so that the wheels are far out off the back so it acts as a B train, so that way I can just keep spawning more of these trailers and have like 3 of them. You know, if I want to do multiple containers, you can just add another trailer. Because of how long it is going to be, so the hitch area is going to be out here, it would be good if the wheels could slide in and out, because then you would have a shorter trailer if you're only taking one container at a time. And then if it's slid out, you just add more and, you know, everything's fine. I think adding MCS compatibility for this trailer, I won't do any MCS compatibility. If I can, you know, prove that this whole system works, then putting it on tracks and having it slide up and down, having the connectors probably attached to the craney bits, so the connectors move as well, and that way it would be a bit more solid, I think. But yeah, get the wheels on it, attach trailer, and then finish that truck. Ooh. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.